In 2005, a quiet American town was shaken by a terrifying event. A young woman vanished without a trace from her own home, leaving behind her belongings, phone, and car. Over time, the investigation into this case began to resemble a typical detective series with one difference. This all happened in real life. The small town was plunged into an atmosphere of fear and mistrust, as any of its residents could have been involved in the woman's disappearance. Only 12 years later would the world learn the horrifying truth. Tara Grinstead was born in 1974 in Hawkinsville, Georgia, USA. During her school years, she actively participated in beauty pageants, winning several awards. From a young age, the girl set a goal to get a quality education, so she saved the money earned from pageants to pay for her tuition. After college, Tara earned a master's degree in education and landed the job she had long dreamed of. She became a history teacher at the high school in Ocilla, Georgia. This tiny town was the epitome of small-town America. Its population did not exceed 4,000 people, most of whom knew each other well. Life there was quiet and measured. None of the locals could have imagined that a serious crime could occur in Ocilla. Tara Grinstead had worked at the local school for several years, and during that time, she had developed excellent relationships with both her colleagues and students. She was a kind and sociable person who was always ready to offer support and help. In October 2005, her help was needed by her students who were preparing to participate in a local pageant. Given that their teacher had repeatedly won prizes at similar events, the girls were thrilled with her support. On Saturday, October 22nd, Tara helped the students with their final preparations before the pageant. Afterward, she went to a barbecue with her school friends and returned home at 11 p.m., parking her car outside under the carport. From that moment on, Tara was out of contact. Her mother was the most worried. Tara always answered her phone or called back, but this time, she never got a response. On Monday, October 24, the anxiety peaked. Tara didn't show up for work. This was extremely unusual for her. She took her job seriously and would have definitely notified her superiors if she needed a day off. Concerned colleagues called the police to make sure she was okay. At 10 a.m. that day, a police officer went to her address. He assumed the woman's phone had simply died and that she was either sick or had overslept. Arriving at her house, he found Tara's car in its usual spot. Her car doors were unlocked. But this didn't surprise the officer. In such a small town, residents weren't worried about car theft. Then, he noticed an envelope with $100 in cash on the dashboard. This was strange. How could someone as responsible as Tara leave money in plain sight? The officer knocked on the door, but no one answered. He then decided to inspect the house. At first glance, everything seemed completely normal, with no signs of a struggle or break-in. But in Tara's bedroom, detectives discovered a complete mess, which was entirely out of character for her. Her clothes were scattered on the floor, including the outfit she was last seen in. Her cell phone was on the nightstand, charging. It looked as if Tara had just stepped out for a moment, but she was nowhere to be found. On the ground near the house, police found the first clue that led them to suspect a crime had occurred. A latex glove was lying there, which someone might have used to conceal fingerprints. Detectives dismissed the idea that the glove could have belonged to Tara herself, as almost no one used such gloves for household chores. From that point on, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, GBI, the state-level equivalent of the FBI, joined the case. The primary theory became abduction. Evidence was scarce. Besides the glove, detectives found only 2 other questionable items. Tara's broken necklace was on the bedroom floor, and her alarm clock was not in its usual place. But this didn't help the detectives. For the small town, that Monday was truly horrific. Tara's house was cordoned off, and a meeting was held at the school. Her colleagues and students did everything they could to help with the search. Forming a group of volunteers, they printed stacks of flyers with the woman's photo and information about her disappearance. And within hours, these papers were posted all over town.
Investigators held out hope that Tara had simply walked off somewhere and that search dogs would easily find her. Meanwhile, the latex glove was sent to experts to gather as much data as possible. They managed to extract a DNA sample, but no matches were found in the FBI database. All they knew was that the sample belonged to a male. Alas, none of this yielded any results. It was as if Tara had vanished from her own home. Investigators then began to dig into Tara's personal life and past. It's often the case that when a woman disappears, someone in her inner circle is to blame. After examining the men Tara had been in relationships with, detectives couldn't identify a single suspect. Her longest relationship had been with Marcus Harper, a former police officer and Army veteran. The couple had broken up on Tara's initiative about a year before her disappearance. The reason was that she wanted to start a family, and Marcus wasn't ready. Soon, an interesting turn of events awaited them. The police learned that Tara had been threatened by a former student. On March 30th, 2005, 7 months before her disappearance, he came to her house and behaved very aggressively. When Tara refused to let him in, the young man started banging on the door, and neighbors had to call the police. It turned out he had been in love with the teacher since high school. According to her acquaintances, the former student was emotionally unstable, behaved strangely, and was even frightening. After that incident, the woman filed a report against him. She was seriously afraid he might harm her. After Tara's disappearance, police questioned the young man. He was working in a neighboring town and provided detectives with an alibi for the night of the disappearance. His involvement in the case could not be established. In the woman's house, they also found the business card of a police officer. It turned out that Tara had dated him for a while, but at the time of her disappearance, he was living in another city and also provided an alibi. With that, the list of possible suspects was effectively exhausted. With no leads, the police decided to organize a search for the girl 2 weeks after her disappearance. Such a delayed decision seemed strange, as it was clear from the beginning that Tara had not left her home voluntarily. Hundreds of volunteers were brought in to comb the outskirts of Ocilla. They searched forests, ditches, and rivers, but failed to find a single trace of Tara. The search yielded no results, and the police faced a bleak reality. They had simply run out of leads. The next few years did not bring the police any closer to solving this mystery. It wasn't until 2009 that an event once again drew attention to the disappearance of Tara Grinstead. A user created a YouTube channel and uploaded a creepy video. A man sat in the frame, his face blurred and his voice altered. In the video, he claimed to be involved in the disappearance of 16 girls, naming them. Among them was Tara Grinstead. The police immediately checked the video and found that all 16 names indeed belonged to missing women. The FBI managed to track down the author relatively quickly,
He turned out to be 27-year-old Andrew Haley. After his arrest, he claimed he was just joking. The fleeting hope of solving this cold case faded. In December 2010, Tara Grinstead was officially declared deceased, as there was simply nothing left to investigate. It wasn't until 2016 that something happened that got people talking about Tara again. An Atlanta-based documentarian, Payne Lindsay, created a podcast dedicated to mysterious cases. And for his first season, he focused on the Tara Grinstead case. He and his colleague traveled to Ocilla, where they met with a private investigator. Together, they began to work the case from scratch. They didn't have access to police documents, so their only available source of information was the town's residents. Payne's enthusiasm managed to revive interest in the case, and soon the residents of Ocilla were discussing it again. The breakthrough came completely unexpectedly. In early 2017, a woman named Brooke Sheridan came to the police. Her story shocked the investigators, who had lost hope that the truth would ever surface. Brooke revealed that her ex-boyfriend, Bo Dukes, had once confessed to her. He had helped his friend dispose of Tara Grinstead's body. Detectives asked Brooke to wear a wire and go to Dukes to get a confession. It worked. The man did not deny his involvement, and the police had grounds for his arrest. To their surprise, Dukes immediately began cooperating with the investigation and laid all his cards on the table. Late one evening, his friend and former classmate, Ryan Duke, had called him. He asked to borrow his truck to help with something, and then added, "I broke into Tara Grinstead's house to steal some money, but something went wrong, and I killed her." According to the story, Ryan was under the influence of illegal substances. He got into the house using a credit card. Tara spotted him, a struggle ensued, and only Ryan came out alive. When Bo Dukes arrived with the truck, they loaded the woman's body into it, drove it to the woods, and the two of them disposed of it over several days. This story shocked the residents of Ocilla. Ryan and Bo had never been considered suspects because they had no motive. Despite his full confession, Bo Dukes did not testify against himself in court. At the trial, he spoke to Tara's relatives, cried, and apologized. The court delivered its verdict, 25 years in prison for helping to conceal a crime. As for Ryan Duke, his trial continues to this day. There is no doubt that prison awaits Ryan, but when the court will deliver its final verdict is unknown. Now that the truth about this high-profile case has come to light, Tara Grinstead's friends and family have been relieved of the burden of not knowing. Her mother admitted that all these years she had secretly hoped for a miracle, that her daughter would return to her alive. Subscribe to the channel to listen to these real and scary stories. Sometimes these stories end well, but more often badly. It's disturbing.